gentlemen, on the right-hand side, we've got the Chicago Harbor Lighthouse. It's the only lighthouse you're going to see today. It's the only lighthouse in the Chicago Harbor. Now, it's not manned. It was manned until the 1970s. And then they decided that the Coast Guard is the they here. They didn't want to pay to man the lighthouse. But we wanted to have a manned lighthouse. So we found a guy. In Chicago, there is always a guy. And the guy they found was not only willing to man the lighthouse, but also to pay a nominal rent. Which sounds like a really good deal to the city, right? The guy they found was a major party animal, and the Coast Guard kept getting calls complaining like, don't pay the people in the break. Now I gotta admit, I was skeptical of this. And then I met 3 people who knew the guy, and one person who went to the party. All party. So let's bring back check. Now what's a break wall? Oh, it's a beautiful day. Let's see this stone structure out there? And see how it's literally breaking the waves? It keeps it from getting too choppy here in the harbor. Now we're on Lake Michigan, which is the 3rd largest of the Great Lakes. So there's 5 Great Lakes. Ontario, pull you underwater at very shallow levels. So you really do want to show maximum respect to Lake Michigan. Now off on the horizon there, we've got these 2 structures that look like carnival tents. Those are called water cribs. They're protected walls for our water filters. Let the water in, so what it does is it takes the water in, pumps it 200 feet below the ground to that building right there, the Jardine Water Filtration Plant, which serves 3 million Chicagoans and 110 neighboring communities. So the way it works, it's the more expensive. So the farther you live away from the city, the more expensive your water is. Now you got on the boat just north of the Causable Bridge, and that area on Michigan Avenue is called the Mag Mile. Some of the best shopping in the world. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, you can find it all in the Mag Mile. Now, we've got the Ohio Street Beach, which is the only beach where you can go to Bloomingdale to get a bathing suit, and then go to the beach. Now, we have this black building with the flat roof and the 2 white antennas. That is 875 North Michigan. I'm betting a lot of you still call it the John Hancock. Not very many people know they changed the name in 2018. Now it's significant for a couple of reasons. It was completed in 1969. It was the first major skyscraper after the Empire State Building. First major skyscraper after World War II, and really after the Empire State Building. Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill are the architects. Bruce Graham is the lead architect. Dr. Faisal Khan is a structural engineer. And he is considered the Albert Einstein of structural engineers. So a couple things about it, engineer-wise. It is the first building to incorporate both commercial and residential space, which is why it tapers. And it uses X Gracie for the wind shearing. Now they've been using X Gracie on wind shearing, or X Gracie for wind shearing on bridges, since almost the beginning of time. But this is the first building. Then we've got the white building to the south with the flat roof, and that is Water Tower Place. It's a vertical shopping mall. It's got American Girl as its anchor store. It also has a 5-star hotel, luxury condominiums, and the Broadway Playhouse. Then, to the north, they're building with the Spiers. That is 900 North Michigan. It is also a vertical shopping mall, 5-star hotel, luxury condominiums. It has Bloomingdale's as its anchor store. There's if you go north, that is Lincoln Park, home of the Lincoln Park Zoo, one of the fewer named 3 zoos left in the country. And this whole neighborhood is called Streeterville. got his name from a colorful Chicago named Captain Streeter. He moved here after the Civil War to operate a ferry boat between Chicago and Milwaukee. And it got grounded on a sandbar, about where 875 Brook, Michigan is. It started to amass land. So he dubbed it its own region and said he didn't have to comply with any city or state laws. And he turned it into a real sin city. Gambling, prostitution, it was all happening. And naturally they wanted to evict him. And every time the cops showed up to eviction, they greeted him with two things: a fake letter from Grover Cleveland saying they wouldn't be there, and a shotgun. They finally got him on the same day they got Al Capone on. Tax evasion. And with that, I'm going to take a brief pause. I'll pick up the mic when we get to the south end of the harbor. left side, we've got what's known as the museum campus building with the dome. That's the Adler Planetarium. Then we've got what looks like a space coaster landed on a Coliseum. That's Soldier Field. Then we've got the building with the green glass. That is the Shedd Aquarium. And then we have, behind that, the Field Museum. Now, I want to talk about this black building with the flat roof and the two white antennas. It's the Willis Tower. It is the tallest building in the city of Chicago, third tallest in the United States of America. It is 1,454 feet tall. Unless you can recite that number, I'm the expert. Now, I'm going to talk all about it. I've got a whole shtick for the name change. So it is 1,454 feet tall. When it was completed in 1974, it was the tallest building in the world. And it remained the tallest building for 24 years. Now, it was built to be the world headquarters for Sears. They sold the building and moved to the suburbs in the 1990s. Not a lot of people realize they moved or did that because the new owners let us just keep calling it the Sears Tower for over a decade. After 9/11, people didn't want to work in skyscrapers anymore, let alone one of the tallest in the world. So as their leases expired, the tenants moved out, and the building had very low occupancy. So along came the Willis Insurance Group. They're an insurance company out of London. They were the brokerage company for the Titanic. And they came along, and they offered a way for the building to stay afloat. It's just the tip of the iceberg. By renting 3 floors in exchange for the naming rights. So they rent 3 floors. They don't own the building, and they're not the principal tenant. The principal tenant is United Airlines, with 25% of the building. Now, I learned that United Airlines renegotiated their lease, and they now have the naming rights option. So when Willis's lease is up, it could become United Airlines Tower, which is better because it is Chicago's hometown airline. Either way, my heart will go on. Oh yes, it's all coming back to me now. It is called the Willis Tower. That is the official name of the building. However, in Chicago, we spell that S-E-A-R-S. I promise you my name. Now, the architects are Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. The lead architect is Bruce Graham. Dr. Cosler Kahn is a structural engineer, and he is considered to be the Albert Einstein of structural engineers. And it's made with what's called bundled tubular construction. It's 9 75-foot boxes that are bundled together to allow for the height and protect from the wind, making it a very, very strong building. That said, it does sway 18 inches in any direction on a window, which you want it to do to avoid structural damage, like broken windows. But I've talked to people who work there, and they report going to the bathroom on a windy day, and the toilet bowl water is just a splish, splashing away, which some people think sounds gross. I, for one, remember the great toilet paper shortage in 2020, and will just appreciate a bidet any way I can get one. Hashtag pandemic potty. Okay, who wants to know how the Great Chicago Fire started? All right. It's a little more complicated than the cow. So we know the fire started in Mrs. O'Leary's barn. Legend has it, she went out to milk her cow, the cow got excited, kicked over a lantern, and ended up burning down the entire city of Chicago. This was widely believed that Mrs. O'Leary was hated and ran out of town. We later found out it was a made-up story by an out-of-town journalist that could sell more papers the next day. And in fact, in 1997, the City Council of Chicago voted to exonerate both Mrs. O'Leary and the cow. So what it really was, the cow got some justice. It was really a culmination of unfortunate circumstances. Chicago's been experiencing a drought. We've gotten about 1.5 inches of rain in 2 months. And in fact, the entire Great Lakes region was experiencing a drought. And there were fires throughout the fall in Chicago, including one the night before. So the firefighters were exhausted. It didn't help that everything in Chicago was basically made out of wood. Buildings, bridges, sidewalks, and streets. And the fire started in the industrial part of town, which means warehouses. And in the path of the Great Chicago Fire, there was a warehouse that housed coal and another one that housed matches. It got out of control very quickly. It's hard to imagine, but Chicago looked like what you see when you see pictures of the West Coast wildfires. Now, we started to rebuild right away, and we wanted to become a world-class city. So we found out the World Columbian Exposition was coming to the United States of America. We really, really wanted to host this fair. So we sent our very best politicians to Washington, D.C., and they lobbied their little hearts out. And we ended up getting awarded the fair. Great for us, but New York was a little bitter. And one of their journalists referred to our politicians as windy bags from the Windy City, or full of hot air. And that is why we are called the Windy City. Not because we're the windiest city in America, which we are not, but because our politicians are full of hot air. I find this to be very unfair. If you know anything about Chicago politics, or Illinois politics as a whole, we are known for having some of the most honest, above-board politicians you could ever hope to vote for. Twice. In the same election.